morning. It is Monday, May 11th. Today I can find segments dealing with exterior angles using we equals we. So this picture should look very familiar because last week we dealt with this picture, but last week we dealt with arcs and angles. Now we're dealing with segments. And the two segments rules that we're going to talk about are a little childish to help you remember them, but it works. There's PP and wee wee. Tomorrow we're going to talk about PP, part times part equals part times part. Today we're going to talk about wee wee. And what wee wee stands for is whole times exterior equals whole times exterior. So as long as you know the E in we stands for exterior, we know that we're using we, not PP. So what does whole and exterior mean? Well, there's two segments in this picture right here. Let's start with this one. The whole is exactly what it sounds like. This whole thing is the whole. Exterior means outside, so this piece right here is your exterior. For the other piece, we call this a tangent when it's a segment outside the circle that hits it once. It's a little bit special because the whole is the exterior. Since the whole thing is outside, the whole and the exterior are the same thing, but whole means the whole segment, and exterior means the segment or the piece of the segment that's outside. So whenever we have an exterior angle and we're dealing with segments, we're using we, which means whole times exterior equals whole times exterior. Number one, blah, 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 DC equals 4, BC equals 2, and it's asking for AC. Well, I see segments involved. There's no arcs and angles, but there are segments involved. There's an exterior piece, we. So let's start with this segment. We call this a secant. A secant is a segment that goes from outside the circle to inside the circle. The whole secant is X. As we can see, we label this whole thing as X. And the exterior piece is 2. Now my other segment, again, this is called a tangent. The whole and the exterior are both 4, since the entire segment is outside. From there, I just do the algebra. 2x equals 16, divide by 2, divide by 2, x equals 8. That's it. All right, when you have an exterior angle and we're dealing with segments, we, which stands for whole times exterior equals whole times exterior. Number 2, AD is 6, AC is 9. It's asking for AB. I see an exterior angle. I'm dealing with segments, not arcs and angles. So it's we. Whole times exterior equals whole times exterior. Let's start with the secant. The secant, the whole is 9. The exterior part is X. The other segment, the whole and the exterior are both 6, since the entire segment is outside. 9x equals 36. I do the algebra, and I get x equals 4. Number 3, PC is 12. BC is 9. It's asking for AP. I see an exterior angle. There are segments involved. We. Whole times exterior equals whole times exterior. Let's start with this piece right here. The whole thing is 12. The exterior, little twist. This right here is the exterior. Well, if the whole thing is 12 and the interior is 9, I could subtract them to get 3. That looks really sloppy. So my exterior piece is 3. So you might have to do some adding or subtracting to find the pieces. Now the other segment, the whole and the exterior, are both x, so it's x times x. From here we do the algebra. 12 times 3 is 36. X times x is x squared. And to get rid of the squared, we do the square root. X is 6. Let's try something not right here. That's okay. Let's try number 7. That's kind of as hard as it'll get. Actually, number 8 is as hard as it'll get. Let's try 7 and 8, and then I'm going to let you do the rest on your own. It says that PA is 8, PB is 4. It's asking for the length of BC. Well, I have an exterior angle. I have segments, so it's we whole times exterior equals whole times exterior. Let's start with the secant. This whole thing. Here's the twist. I don't have the whole thing, but since I have both pieces, I could add them together to get the whole thing. 4 plus x is 4 plus x. So the whole is 4 plus x. What's the exterior piece? 4. The other piece, the whole and the exterior, are both 8. So again, you might have to add or subtract pieces together. You might have to add together to find the whole or subtract to get the exterior. From here, I do the algebra. I'm going to distribute. I'm going to bring this down here. 16 plus 4x equals 8 times 8 is 64. I do the algebra. And I get my answer. So again, you might have to add or subtract pieces in order to find the whole or the exterior. And this last one's got an algebra twist to it. We've done this algebra twist earlier in the year in a different unit. We did a lesson called Algebra 1 for Geometry, and that's where this kind of fell into. We haven't seen it much this year. We haven't seen it in a while, but I threw it on here just in case. And this has come up in this unit where you've had to do this algebra thing. My computer's being a little weird right now, but that's okay. I see an exterior angle. These are segments, so I know I'm doing wee. Let's start with the secant. The whole secant is x plus 18. The exterior is 3. And then for the other one, the whole and the exterior are both x. I distribute. I get 3x plus 54 equals x squared. Now the question is, how do I solve this equation? Well, this is an algebra 1 thing, and again, we've talked about it a little bit in geometry. We talked about Mr. X squared. Do you remember Mr. X squared? He wants to party. Before he can party, all his friends have to come over. To solve a quadratic equation, an equation with an x squared, you have to bring everything to one side. Once everybody comes over, it's party time. What do they do at their party? They party with bubbles. Bubbles meaning parentheses, I have to factor. First sign comes down, negative, and a negative is a positive. What multiplies to 54? I'm going to list all my factors of 54. You can use your calculator to help you with that as well. You need to subtract to 3. Bigger number goes first, 9 and 6. X minus 9 equals 0. X plus 6 equals 0. Plus 9, x equals 9. Minus 6, x equals negative 6. Now, because we're talking about the length of a line segment, it can't be negative. X is 9. Let's see what the question's asking for. The length of PS. PS is X, so PS is 9. So I wouldn't worry too much about this if you're not following the algebra. We talked about the algebra earlier this year briefly. You talked about it a lot in Algebra 1. If your algebra skills are there, great. If not, they rarely ask you to solve, these are called quadratic equations. They rarely ask you to solve quadratic equations in this course. I think there's been 2 or 3 ever on all the Common Core Geometry Regents exams, going back to 2015, but it's possible they can. So make sure that if you want to get 100 in this exam, you know how to solve quadratic equations. So that's all I got for you. When you have exterior angles dealing with segments, I use wee, whole times exterior equals whole times exterior. The 2 segments rules are PP and wee. So in the next lesson, we're going to talk about the PP rule. Any questions, reach out to me and remind your classwork/homework, like always, is to finish worksheet, and you're going to have a quiz due tomorrow. Again, it should get done today, but I like to give you guys a little bit of extra time in case some stuff comes up today and you can't get to it. I'm trying to be very flexible with you with your time. Any questions, reach out to me or remind, and have a great day.